Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Black Madonna Transmission that we're having today. Welcome. It's wonderful to see all of you and share this powerful teaching with all of you. In my practice, in the quantum light practice, I work with sacred sites. That's a big part of what I do. And because in these places, these sacred places, what happens is that we can connect with these archetypal forces, these frequencies of light, and we can offer our blessings, and we can also receive divine qualities. We activate divine qualities inside ourselves through interacting with the beings of light that reside in these sacred places. And these places become sacred because of this reciprocity that we are offering and we are receiving and expanding and growing. And so that's the purpose of pilgrimage, in that we are moving out of our comfort zone, our habitual way of being in the world, and we travel to a place that we can physically or multidimensionally travel to sacred places and receive in this place. For example, today, we will be traveling to multidimensionally to the monastery of the Black Madonna, Montserrat, which is outside of Barcelona, Spain. And it's a mountain monastery. And again, many, many years of devotion, many, many years of human pilgrimage to this place has created this vibration that we will be tapping into. There, at the top of the mountain, there is a high altitude shrine devoted to Mary Magdalene. So we'll be tapping into that vibration as well, the Magdalene vibration. So let's just dive right in and see in these channelings, all of us are contributing. All of us are offering, are bringing something to the altar. And that affects what we receive here in this sacred container. And we will be channeling the beings of light that are expressing the Black Madonna vibration. Now, what is the Black Madonna? What is the purpose of engaging with this energy, which is also referred to sometimes as the Dark Mother? And this vibration, it's an archetype, and an archetype is an energy that flows through your system at different times of your life, at different times, and in different incarnations as well, in different dimensions. It's, you tap into this frequency that supports you at any given time in your life, okay? And so this Black Madonna, when we use the word black or dark, what we're referring to is depth, that we're going into the depths of the human experience, the rawness of our physicality, the rawness of this experience of separation that we're born into. And we are experiencing that at its deepest manifestation inside of us, so that we can come into union. The purpose of experiencing the darkness or facing the darkness is to come into union, to dissolve separation and come into union. So this is why we can go through periods in our lives which some will refer to as the dark night of the soul. And that's when all our experiences of separation really come to the forefront, because we are about to move into union. So all of those frequencies of separation come up in order to be cleansed and purified. Okay, so that's the main teaching of the Black Madonna is how do we face the shadow? Like, what is that? The shadow, it's shadow because it's unconscious. So we don't even know it's there many times. That's what's tricky about it. It's unconscious. So then how do we um, identify what that is? How do we tap into what is this shadow? You know, what is it that I'm supposed to face? You know, and if it's unconscious, how do I know what it is? Right. So what happens is there's this phenomenon of the human mind that's called projection. And so what happens is that um, we will project that shadow into the outer world. We will see it around us. We will see it outside of us. Okay. So let's just take a deep breath and close our eyes because we're going to enter into this Black Madonna frequency so that we can more deeply uncover this mystery. So let's just close our eyes and get started. Take deep breaths and just feel that stillness come forth. So we're entering into the inner quantum field. This is the sacred space inside of us, the presence of the divine. And then be aware of your grounding cord. So put your attention on the base of the spine and allow that line of energy to move through all the layers of the earth to the core of the ascended Gaia. And anchor yourself into that core of light, this diamond white light. And then you allow that white light to rise up through all the layers of the earth and enter into your body and through the soles of the feet, through the root chakra. You're just receiving this light, this earth vibration. And so this is anchoring us into this stillness so that we can be open to this presence and receive. And then we'll call forth the cosmic light to enter in through the crown of the head. Just take deep breaths. And allow that light to come in through the crown of the head and merge with the earth energy, integrating with the earth energy. And this is our alignment. And you can see that cosmic light moving through all the energy centers. The third eye, the throat, into the heart. And this fusion of cosmic light and earth energy is absorbed by every cell of your body and is emanating throughout your body with this alignment. And be aware of the presence, this sacred presence inside of you. Focus on the heart and breathe. Okay, so take deep breaths. So we are creators of our reality. We co-create our experience. And so and how do we create our reality is through our thoughts and our perceptions. So when we have a belief and we decide that we believe something, we will call to ourselves 100 examples of that belief that will confirm that belief. So we are again, in this way, we're creating our experience. And the more aware we become of our thoughts and our perceptions, the more we can choose our reality. So this is a law, a universal law, which is called the law of attraction. So many of us have worked on, on our thoughts and changing our thoughts and doing affirmations and things like this, which is very important, because when we make an affirmation, anything that does not match that affirmation will come up in a purification process. And so this is how we know, this is how we start to identify what our shadow is. So again, as we began this bringing more awareness to projection and how to navigate, how to be aware of it and how to navigate with it. So that it benefits us, so that we use every experience that we have in our everyday life in a way that benefits us. So take a deep breath and just receive this light language transmission so that we can come into alignment. So we all know this. Everybody in this group knows that we create our reality with our thoughts. So we're going to receive very specific examples of how to work with this in our everyday life. And we're so blessed because at this time on the planet, we are surrounded by polarity, extreme polarity. So this is teaching us how we can choose. So this is how we take the opportunity to transform a situation that's challenging, that's difficult, and how do we use it for our expansion? How do we contribute to the expansion of consciousness and hold space for the divine presence in this time? How do we offer ourselves as vessels of divinity to assist in the transformation of consciousness in this global paradigm shift? So we're going to receive very practical examples. So this activation is going to assist us to have more clarity and very specific tools to use in the moment. As we uncover and soften inside ourselves extreme polarities. So we all have examples in our lives where we are triggered, emotionally triggered. So we'll be in a discussion with somebody that we care about, somebody that we love, somebody that we respect. And this is happening more and more often in a very intense way. And also we're in the full moon at this time. So this is another beautiful vibration to assist us to release and let go of all that we are ready to let go of and receive union. So sometimes when people get very intense, we can say, oh, it's the full moon. The full moon is coming. And so because that at this time we're very sensitive. And so we can see, we can become more and more aware of our beliefs, of our perceptions, of our projections in the everyday life. So again, there's the example. We're having a conversation with somebody who we're very close to, who we love, who we respect, and they're talking, and it's like very difficult to understand how they could possibly believe what they believe, or how they can possibly think what they think. It is just so different from what I believe or how I see things. And sometimes this type of exchange can be very, very intense, and it can lead to, raising your voice, and also like this polarization where it just feels like there is no way that we can find each other. We are so different. We think so differently. And so this is when we know, this is the red flag, that we are in polarity. And we can know how far we are in polarity by the intensity and how it's very emotionally charged. And so we see this every day. We see this every day around us, this happening in the outer world, these extreme polarities, this inability to communicate, and an inability to listen to the other perspective, to be aware of the other perspective. So we're just going to bring that up, that energy, that feeling that there's no common ground. They're like so different. They're so out there, they're so crazy. So then we start to again, project certain qualities on this person outside of us. Okay, so that's what projection is. Now, and we know that we're in the throes of this, that our shadow is coming up because it's emotionally charged. If it is something that is not part of our own shadow, we're neutral to it. It doesn't bother us. It's like, oh yeah, everyone has a right to believe what they believe, and we're all different, and we've all had, so it goes more to that kind of energy that's very that's soft, that's tolerant, that's accepting, that you're not threatened by this other belief. There's no threat because it's not something that's unconscious inside of you. When it becomes very, very charged, that's when we know that this is part of our shadow. So that's the sign. So we can know that. We can become aware. I'm entering into this polarity. I'm entering into this territory of my shadow because I'm in this very intense, very charged emotion. So that is how the unconscious material, comes forth in these emotionally charged situations. So let's just bring that energy we'll offer it to the altar of transformation. And you will see different experiences in your life where this has occurred. So just allow that to come up. that energy. So no because it's a vibration that we experience. So just allow that vibration to come forth inside of you. And you may have like an image of a specific situation where this has occurred or is occurring at this time. So just let it come forth. So skoroshinoaha na chinikisinoko, sokoaha na ishina koraini chinikicha korai ichikisokosora, sanai na ishina korai skowahanai. Take deep breaths. And we just follow the sound vibrations. The light language is here to assist us because it supports us in detaching from the charge. And then the divine presence can come forth and assist us to unravel some of these very deep-rooted thought patterns, very deep-rooted habitual ways of being and reacting to experiences in our everyday life. So this is the purpose of the light language, is to assist the mind to detach from habitual ways of thinking and being. Sokoa ha'anai chinakini chinokoro soa, shokoro sonoa ha'anai ini chinaki sokoshoa. So skoro sonoa ha'anai, sorokoro ha'anai ini chinakane chinokoro saki, sokoa ha. So take deep breaths. Polarities. So then when we find ourselves in one of those situations, again, where it just seems like there's no way we can find each other again, it's just this very harsh energy where we're not able to see the divinity in this other being of light. What happens is that we only see the projection, what we are, our own shadow that we're projecting. We no longer can see or communicate with the divinity in that being. So take a deep breath. So the first way the way of the Black Madonna, okay, is in that when this is occurring in the outer world, the first response is to go inside, to move the attention to the inner quantum field, and to ask for divine support. So focusing on the heart, and then we ask for divine support. I'm in this polarized experience. What do I do? Okay, so we call forth support. And then we become aware. Anytime that we are so attached to a belief that if somebody disagrees with us, it upsets us, we're entering into projection. We are tapping into some kind of, it can be a trauma from the past as well that has not been processed. It can be conditioning that's unraveling, very deep-rooted belief systems that we received in our culture, that we received in our education, so that may be unraveling at this time as we expand, as we become more aware of ourselves as beings of light, multidimensional beings of light incarnate. As we become more aware of that is who we are, these types of belief systems, they start to unravel inside of us in this way. So when we become very, very attached to a certain belief, the Black Madonna reminds us that we don't have all the information. Sometimes we think we have all the information, but we don't. We just don't. And so having that awareness, I have had this experience. I have this belief. This has been, this is something that is truth for me. Okay, so really honoring that. Yes, this is my perspective. But this person has a completely different perspective because they have a completely different life experience. They've had a different education. They've had a different experience in their family. They've lived in different places. They've had different experiences in their life. So I don't really know what's going on inside that other person. I may have an idea of where they're coming from, but I don't know everything. Okay, so that's the first step in softening polarity. Sonoa Anaish is to be aware, to enter into humility, to know that I don't know everything. I don't know everything that other people have experienced. I don't know why that person would have this belief. And it's okay. It is true for them. So I can honor that, I can respect that being and the divinity that is inside of them, guiding them. So we move our attention away from the other person again, and we turn it inward, inside. We move inside. And this can happen with, it happens mainly with people that we're very close to. And it also happens when we're relating to groups of people and institutions. So the mind will, so one of the ways that we go into polarity and that we can know that we're moving into polarity is with black and white thinking. And that is when we'll see a whole group, this whole group of people is like this. They believe this. So again, the moment the mind starts to do that, we know that we're entering into projection. So we can say, so again, we can soften. We soften that projection by, again, being aware that we don't have all the information. We have limited information that's been revealed to us through our experience, but it's not all of the information. And it may be true that some people in this group are like that, but other people in this group may not be like that. So again, whenever the mind is saying always, and it's always like this, and why does this always happen? This kind of thing, we can know that we're in projection. And so we learn how to, when we work with shadow, we learn how to hold space for both. Yes, we don't have to deny. We don't deny what we're seeing. But we say, this sometimes happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. It's not always the same way. So the reason why we start to feel that it's always this way, because we're uncovering that unconscious vibration that hasn't been processed. So it comes up very, very powerfully. And so then for a few moments, we feel, why does this always happen? Why are they always this way? Why do they do that? Why do, those kinds of thoughts? It's because we're tapping into that wound. So let's just allow that to kind of, that information to integrate inside of us. Shono ane shinaki nishinako. So skoru sute, take deep breaths and then breathe out. Take deep breaths. Breathe out. And we focus on the heart. So when has this occurred for you recently? One of those really uncomfortable conversations that feels like you can just never find each other again. So just allowing that to come up, and we will offer that experience to the altar of the Black Madonna in this alchemical container. So we're offering it to this fire of transformation. Any residue of that harshness, of that feeling that the separation, that energy of separation that's so deep, it feels like that we can never find each other again. That energy, sokoha naishiniki sokoswa, soroha naishiniki sonokoswa, sokoha naishiniki. So we first turn inward. We then become aware that we do not have all the information. Sokono onoa shinikini shinokosawa, shokusawa hanai. So we become aware of any kind of black and white thinking. And so we choose, we're going to hold space for both. Both have their place. The light and the dark. They both have their place, they both have their purpose. So what we're softening any kind of extremes that rupture growth and communication. So we're choosing. I'm going to allow both to be inside of me. Because the Black Madonna, again, we experience light through color. Different facets of light are revealed through color. So when an artist paints and has a palette where different colors are on the palette, when you mix all the colors together, when all the colors come together, when all the colors are included on one palette, the paint becomes black. So black includes everything. So we allow everything. Everything has its place. Everything and in this way, we call forth these shadows, these wounded parts of ourselves that have become fragmented. So then we call forth those parts of ourselves that have been dismissed, have been rejected by ourselves. And so we call them back to us for healing and to be integrated into the wholeness. So we embrace what we consider to be flaws, what we consider to be weaknesses, what we consider to be parts of ourselves that we don't want. We accept these parts of ourselves that appear to be flawed. With love. Let's take a deep breath. Bring forth the sacred site of Montserrat, the vibration of Montserrat. The high altitude shrine of the Black Madonna. Sonoa aine shinakine shinakarai shiki shako soroa ha nai sinakine shinakorai. Soskoro sonoa ha anai ini chinakene chinakorai. Soskoro sonoa ha anai sinaki. Soskoro sonoa ha anai ini sinaki shinakorai. Soskoro ha anai ini shinakene shinake sokoshua. Soskoro sonoa ha anai shinaki shokwa. Soroa anai ini shinake eseke sokosoroa. Soskoro shinoho onoa ha anai. Hanai ini chinakene chinakene chikorai chike sokoshua. The inner illumination. Sokoaha anai shinakene shinakorai siki sokosoa. Soskoro shinakorai ini chinake shinakoroa. So when we do this work of softening polarity, again, being aware that we don't have all the information, accepting that all perceptions have their place. Allowing everything to be. Sokoshua nishinake nishinakorai shiki soko. Sokora ini chinake sinakorai seki shinakosoa. Sokora ha anai ini shinaki. Take a deep breath. And then from this place of acceptance, coming from a place of wholeness, we are inspired. We are illuminated. We are inspired to take action if we need to take action. So we trust that we're being guided. Take a deep breath. So this activation supports us in facing these very challenging emotions that come forth in these interactions that occur, these extreme polarizations that we're experiencing. So we turn inward and face and experience those challenging emotions. Sokoaha ana ini chinaki shinakorai shiki sokuswa. Sokoaha anai ini chinaki shinakoshua. Soskoro sonokoaha anai ini chinaki shinakuswa. So when we get triggered, when we have that emotional trigger, that's the time to turn inward and ask for divine support. Because we know that when we're emotionally triggered and we feel very, very strongly about a belief, about what's right or what's wrong, okay? We know that we're in projection. We know that we can go on YouTube and find 100 videos that are going to confirm everything that we say. We know that we can call certain people and they're going to confirm everything that we say and that we believe. And then we'll be able to have our group that you know, the comfort of knowing that we're right. Okay. So this is a different approach. That's okay if we want to do that. But if we want to truly transform separation, frequencies of separation into unity consciousness, this is the work that we're called to do, to go inward and to face, what is it inside of me? What is this feeling that is so disturbing? And to be with that feeling, allow ourselves to feel it. Just allowing ourselves to be with that discomfort can completely transform the situation in the moment. Because we're not reacting, we're not taking action from a place of woundedness. We're facing that shadow that's inside of us. And then from that place of integration, of experiencing wholeness, then we can take action and respond in a way that we choose. So it's all about freedom and choice. This work leads to freedom and the ability to choose our reality. So that's why we do it. So koraini chinakishno korai, sokusuahanai, sokuaha anai. Because when we come into a place where we can choose how we respond, it's very empowering. That's when we're in our power to create our reality. And then from that place of choice, from that place of wholeness, from that place of grounding, then we have the ability the capacity to make boundaries, to not allow abuse. To know how to take care of ourselves in the moment, and how to support others in a way that's empowering for them, in a way that's empowering, in a way that supports them to face the shadow inside themselves, as opposed to dismissing and tuning them out or rejecting them. When we're in our place of wholeness, when we're in our place of groundedness, we can allow others in an authentic way to have their own experience. It's not threatening to us because we're in our power and we're in our clarity. So that power, authentic power to choose, does not come by shutting down another group of people because we feel that they're wrong. It comes from facing the shadow inside ourselves and coming into such a place of clarity and wholeness that we can hold space in the moment for someone who is processing, who is coming into their own alignment, who is in their own purification process, who's processing emotions that we know nothing about inside of them. So we can hold space in a sacred way. So now, even if we completely disagree with their belief system, we don't have to agree. We don't feel threatened, so we don't have to agree in order to be with them. We can hold space for the situation, and we can come from a place of total clarity and inner strength. And so this comes from doing this inner work. It does not come from censoring someone. It comes from inner alignment. Sokora ini chiniki shinokora ishiki sokosoa. So again, we're calling back all our projections. Take deep breaths. Sonoa anai shinakini shinokora isiniki shinokosoa. Shiskiri shinikini I chikini chinokora ini chiki sokore ichiki sokosoa. So Mary Magdalene's coming forth. Sonoa anai ini chiniki. So skoro sonoa ha anai, the chapel of Mary Magdalene at the summit of Montserrat. Sonoa anai ini chinakini chinokora ishiki. So just receive that blessing. Sonoa anai, and it's a galactic vibration, it's a lineage. Sonoa anai ini chinakeni chinakora I chiki sukusroa, Mary Magdalene, the Magdalene lineage, the exalted one. Sokoro anai ini chinakeni chinakora I chiki shukuro ne chikere surkora. Sana ini chinakene chiki sunakora anai ini chiniksukuaha. Shana ini chinakere sinake sunakora he chikisuko. So skoro sonoaha anai. So Mary Magdalene can be considered an expression of the Black Madonna. Black Madonna. Sono anai ini chinakene chiko o soroaha anai shinaki shinokoroaha. So here is a being who had an incarnation. Sono anai ini shinaki shinokoroa, and she is a very mysterious being. Sono anai shinakene shinokoroa hanai. She was slandered for 2,000 years. So there are many, many, many different perceptions of who she is. So there is the perception that she was a prostitute. There's the perception that she was the most beloved partner of Yeshua. Sono anai chiniki shinokore I chiki sokushua. Hanaini shiniki shinokoroa hanai. There is the perception that she was in a space of complete union with Yeshua and with this Christ consciousness. Sokoa anai shiniki, that she is equal to the being that is Yeshua. Sonoa ana shiniki, shokora anoa ana ini chiniki. So there's many, many different stories that will support each of these perspectives. Sokoa ana ini chinikene chinokora I chiki sokosoroa. Sokoa ana. And then these different stories may come to each of us at different times of our lives. Sokoa, and they may resonate with us at times, and they may not resonate with us at times. Sokora anoa ana ini chiniki chinokorai chiki soko. So the essence of Mary Magdalene, the being of light, the ascended master that is Mary Magdalene, is beyond all of those stories and perceptions. Shoko aha ana, she is a sovereign being of light in alignment. Soko aha ana, with the inner divinity. Sokoro ana ini chinakina chinokoro ai chiki shirkua. Soko aha ana ini chinaka e chinaki shinoko. It's the divine presence, this omnipresence. Soko ana chinaki, that will reveal itself to us in many, many different forms, many, many different ways. Soko aha, it does not matter. The story does not matter. Sonoa anai shinaki. What matters is alignment. What matters is surrender to the inner presence, to the inner divinity. It does not matter what anyone thinks of her. It doesn't matter. There can be a million conferences about who Mary Magdalene is, and a million classes and a million workshops about who she is, and it doesn't matter which one's true, which one's not true, which is more enlightened, which is more in separation, all the perspectives, all of them are true and not true. So all of the perspectives, all of the beliefs are included in her essence. And she is beyond, she vibrates beyond those stories. That is her ascension. So the stories assist us. They are very important, the stories that we've experienced, in that they assist us in our process to be where we are. And then we let them go. So they are no longer our identity. The story, your story is not your identity. Your identity is that you are a being of light. That you are divine. That you are a creator of your destiny. And that we are in surrender to this presence. And from this surrender, this place of surrender, we are creator beings. There is just tremendous light that is released and illumination that occurs in this surrender to the inner presence. So beyond the story. Beyond the suffering. Beyond the joy and the ecstasy. So just take deep breaths and receive. Receive this awareness of yourself as divine, in union. Allowing all the frequencies of separation to dissolve in this union. And just receiving this infusion of illumination codes coming forth through the sun. Soskoro soro ha anai ini chinake chikorwa. Sana ini chinaki shinokora I shinokoro soro. Soro ha anai ini chinaki shinokora I. Soskoro soro ha ana. Haina ini nai chinakana no 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 ananane siki shikora I. Sana ina chakara sokoro ha ana. Sana anai ini chinakara I siki soko soro. Shana hini chikosoro anai. Deep breaths. Receiving the blessing of the Divine Mother, Shono Shroa, coming forth as the inner illumination, the Shekinah, Sokora, the indwelling presence of the Divine inside of us that is gradually revealed through light. So again, this is beyond the mind. It's not anything that you have to believe. It's not anything that you have to read about. It is an inner illumination. That is innate in all of us. This presence, the divine presence inside. Soroha ani shinakini shinakorai shiki shiko soroa. Soskoroha anai ini chinakani isikosoa. Just receiving that blessing, the Sophia, the Shekinah, Soa ana ishinakishako soa. Sana ish, and it's beyond male, female. It's beyond duality. Soroha, it is androgynous. Sonoaha ane, the cosmic star child. Sono shinoaha anashinakin, in the heart. Sokoaha, the divine creative expression, the creative life force that comes through alignment. So the fusion of spirit and matter. Sonoa ana shinikini shinakora soroaha nai. Deep breath. Divine infusion, just receiving this infusion of grace and awareness of yourself as a being of light, incarnate, beyond duality. Shanoa ana ini chinake shinakorai chikisakusua. The sacred marriage, the union, the inner union. Swaha nai shinaki sinakorai chikisakusua. And then as the transmission comes to completion, we're going to call forth the violet flame. And this is a very high frequency of light that is purifying. So visualize violet, the facet of light that is violet, coming in through the crown of the head. This flame, this purifying flame of the cosmic star child, this androgynous being of light, the creative life force inside of us. And so allow that violet flame to move through into the crown of the head and to be absorbed by the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. So bringing all the thought process into present time, all the thought processes into balance, into the present moment. Into the third eye, the center of the head. So just allow the third eye to be bathed in this violet ray, absorbing the violet ray into every cell of the brain. Cleansing, purifying all the neural pathways of the brain. This violet flame is moving into the throat. Again, the throat, all the miscommunication, all the times we miscommunicated, just allowing that to clear with this light. Because the light, this high frequency of light, illuminates all that is ready to be released and dissolved into the oneness. So included into the oneness. So hanai shinakini shinakorai. Soroha na ini shinakini shinakorai seki shakowai. Into the heart. Just illuminating any vibration of aloneness, feeling alone. You are never alone. Soroa ainei shinaki, and just allowing that violet flame to sweep through all these crevices of the heart. emanating through the heart. Union. So hoaha. Sonoaha. Naishinekeni shikoswa. Seeing that divine child inside of us, your innocence, your purity, bathed in this violet ray. Allowing any fragmented parts of ourselves to come forth to receive this love. To receive this blessing of the Black Madonna, coming into the present moment and being included. Bathing the inner quantum field with light and love, this violet frequency. And then clearing the solar plexus, moving into the solar plexus, cleansing, purifying the lower 3 chakras of the body, grounding the sacral chakra, grounding that area of the body into the core of the earth, and the root chakra, grounding and anchoring into the core of the earth as we stabilize, as we access new frequencies of light inside ourselves. Take a deep breath and then breathe out. And then offering gratitude to the beings of light that have come forth. The sacred site of Montserrat, the summit, Magdalene Chapel, the Magdalene lineage, Sophia Christ, the Shekinah, just receiving a final blessing, a column of golden light entering in through the crown of the head. The galactic Magdalene lineage, that state of awareness that is beyond the story, that is beyond the duality of everyday life. This vibration is awakened inside of us, and we draw from it. Every time we turn inward, we put our attention on the inner quantum field, we are feeding ourselves with this vibration. It's like that beautiful Rumi poem, beyond right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. And we experience this field, this inner quantum field, through surrender to the inner divinity, to the presence, to the light within us. Allowing ourselves to experience challenging emotions, to turn inward and allowing ourselves to feel. 11:11. So just receiving the ascension codes 1111, and the ruby fire. Just sealing out all that is completed, and accessing new energy streams that are nourishing and supportive to us in our everyday life. Align with the divinity that is you. And just allowing ourselves to bask in these frequencies of light that will continue to integrate over the next few hours, the next few days, as we come deeper into awareness of who we are as beings of light.